All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Young Mom's Perspective. I am your host, Shauna J. So, on our first episode, we dived into what to expect when you're expecting. Now, I gave y'all the whole rundown on everything that you can expect during your first trimester, but today we're going to get into trimesters 2 and 3. Now, this is when stuff starts getting real. So, after you pass about week 14, then you start noticing, okay, baby is moving. My stomach is getting bigger. I want to eat all day, every day. And you have more energy. That means more time to spend with your body, more time to get into what you really like to do, more time to prepare for baby. Now, listen, y'all, let me tell you. When I started noticing that my bump was becoming an actual bump, I was kind of freaked out because I've always had, a pretty petite frame. So my stomach has always been small. And when I noticed, I'm like, my pants wasn't fitting over my belly no more. My shirts, I had a little midriff showing. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, my body is really, I'm starting to shape shit like I'm an alien or something. Like I'm starting to get into a whole different mode of what my body is like. So it was definitely something that I didn't know how to plan for, but now it's like, okay, here's what to expect. You're going to need stretch pants, and lots of them. You can pull off wearing jeans and stuff in your first trimester, but after that, when you get to trimester 2, oh baby, get you some maternity jeans, because you are not going to be able to button up. You can't button anything up past your belly. I'm sorry, it's not going to be realistic. You're not going to be comfortable. It's just Now, you can be cute in your jeans. Just get some maternity jeans. I promise you, feel a whole lot better. Shirts. Now, once I started getting my belly bump, I was like, oh, I look cute with a belly bump. So I wanted shirts that actually, they hugged my bump. And it is okay. If that is how you want to do it, girl, do that. Don't let nobody tell you what to do with your body, what you want to wear. None of that. If you want to show your belly bump to the world, you do that, because it is your bump and your baby. Okay? Get comfortable in your body. This whole entire experience, the beauty behind pregnancy is that you get to be comfortable in being uncomfortable. Your body is taking you through so many changes so fast that you literally have you can't have any other choice but to adapt. You have to be okay with your body literally looking crazy one day, and then next day you wake up glowy, hair silky, and you just be like pregnancy model. And it's okay, because you are growing a life inside of you. That is the beauty of it. Get comfortable with being able to say, oh yeah, this is my body. I look good. I look great pregnant. My fiance would tell me all the time, like, you a fine pregnant lady. I'd be like, oh, thank you, baby. Because, yeah, girl, embrace that. Embrace it. So, second trimester, when it comes to clothing, wear whatever makes you comfortable. And, if you like Rihanna, you can be super stylish too. But, so let's move into all of the physical, like, body changes. So I started experiencing the tingly hands, and I noticed that my body was a little bit more achy than normal. Granted, I was working like 11-hour shifts at a call center, so I was sitting down on the phone all day, every day, and it really was not the ideal thing for a pregnant woman. So making sure that you stretch. I talked about it a little bit in the first episode, and because I'm bringing it up again, I want y'all to understand that is heavy emphasis on that. I need you ladies to take care of your bodies. Please. You are under a lot of stress already. Your body can sense that. You need to stretch. You need to meditate. You need to take time for yourself. Sit in a tub, get you some warm water. I wouldn't really recommend using too many soaps or fragrances around your hoo-ha, but sit in some warm water and relax. Spend time with your belly, spend time with the baby, spend time with yourself. Take time to let your body do what it's supposed to do. Eating. Now, y'all, when it comes to sweets, I have a problem. Hi, my name is Shauna, and I'm a foodie. Yeah, it's like that. It's bad. it's bad. But find you some healthy alternatives, because dieting, like, you're not dieting, but your diet is extremely important. Find you some healthy alternatives to wanting to have cupcakes all day. And it's cool if you get a craving every now and again and you feed into it, but you cannot just eat sugar all day. It's not gonna be good, y'all. Trust me. It's not the thing that you want to do. I personally, I love sweets, but I know that I'm not gonna eat a pack of Oreos and then expect, my body to react normally. It's not gonna be good. And your doctor may actually have you do a glucose test to find out, like, if you have diabetes or if the baby might have diabetes. It's something like that. Now, we ain't do all that. It definitely is a personal preference. It's whatever you choose to do. Now, because me and Kyle decided that we were gonna go the more natural route, when and my OB, y'all, this is a whole nother story, but I really disliked my OB. Like, that lady, she never remembered my baby's name. It was just very, like, it wasn't a personable experience. And for somebody that I'm trusting to deliver my baby, like, you can't remember his name? Come on now. So actually, around week 24, that is when we decided that we were just going to start seeing my midwife, Heather Robinson. Shout out to you, girl. You the best. Truth, for real. We started seeing her exclusively. And I was done with the doctor, so I didn't do a spina bifida test. I don't know what that's for. Didn't do that. The glucose test, didn't do that. And I'm not giving medical advice because I'm not a doctor, so I would never tell anybody to go against a medical professional, but I'm saying what worked for me and what we did with our journey. It was different. So back to my original point. You want to stay as healthy as you can, because a lot of the reasons why we didn't have to do a lot of the stuff that the doctors were recommending was because I was extremely healthy my pregnancy. I had some swelling of the feet towards the end. My face got puffy, and I had, like, the tingly hand syndrome. But other than that, I maintained a pretty healthy pregnancy. Once I was able to get to a point where I was like, okay, resting, stretching, eating right, drinking lots of water, that's what kept me in a ready to go mode. And I was still, more active. Which brings me to my next point. Make sure that you have some level of activity throughout your entire pregnancy. Ignorance is bliss. And in my first trimester, I didn't know that I could keep doing my regular exercises because my belly was literally, like, non-existent. I didn't get a bump until, like, week 15, 16. I could have kept working out, but I didn't know any better, so I didn't. And once I got to my second trimester, it was a little bit harder for me to try and begin working out again because I had took so much time off. So I would say, give me 1 second, please. I would say give yourself some time to actually create a proper workout regimen. If you are new to working out, please do not go in the gym and spend an hour on the treadmill and overexert yourself. Just don't do that. Be realistic in what will work for you and your current pregnant condition, and stick to that plan. Create a plan, execute it. Is gonna be very simple when you do it that way. Um so I started sleeping better because I wasn't getting up to go to the bathroom as much during my second trimester. But this is when the hip pain started. Now, back in high school, I actually had strained my hamstring during track. So I was going to physical therapy at a point in time for my IT band. And yeah, I've always had like a little bit of trouble with my hips. But when I got pregnant, like it seemed to just, it created a whole mess. Um, so I had to keep my hips together. Um, and that was like super important to, what in the world? Y'all, hold on one second. My work phone is tripping. So I had to maintain a very good stretch routine for my hips, and just my hips. Like the pigeon pose. I would probably sit in that for like 15 minutes before I got in the bed at night, just to try and make sure that I wasn't going to wake up super locked up in the morning. So keep your hips open. This will also help you a lot during labor. Um, so around week, I say week 30, I was getting ready, like mentally preparing myself for what was to come over these next 10 weeks. Had no idea that my baby was gonna go past his due date and come late like he did, but it was okay because it gave me extra time to prepare. So let's move into trimester 3. You're going to be big. I'm not gonna lie to you. Don't lie to yourself. You're going to get bigger. And it's okay. Again, you are growing a life inside of you. It's okay that you are gaining weight. It's okay. It is okay. It's okay. It's okay. I got to a point where I literally looked at myself and I'm like, oh my God, my face is huge. And I wanted to cry. I did. I really did. But I couldn't do anything about it. My feet were starting to get big. Y'all, I could only fit one pair of shoes my entire third trimester. I had a I had a pair of these y'all know them, the see-through Uggs. I had a pair of those. And that was my shoe of choice because I couldn't tie any shoes. I couldn't bend over to get my feet into anything. Kyle had to help me tie my shoes, y'all. When I would put on shoes to try and go to the gym, like I had to stretch them out real far to slide my foot in them, and he had to help me tie my shoes. Yeah, it gets real. It gets really real. Now, hear what I just said. Kyle had to help me with stuff. Help. Ask for help when you need it. That was my biggest problem. I wanted to do everything myself and was so frustrated when I couldn't. And now I understand you're gonna need help. It's okay to ask for help, y'all. Like, we have been given this superhero, like, Black women do it all and they so strong. I wear that proudly, but hey, sometimes you need some help, and it's okay to ask for help. It does not make you weak. It doesn't make you inferior. It just means that you need a little assistance, and that's cool. Like, again, growing a whole baby inside of you, hello, it's okay. It's okay. So make sure y'all are asking for help. Stop trying to do heavy lifting. When you get to about week 36, 35, 36, you will start nesting. And that's when you want everything in the house to be nice and laid out perfectly. You want your baby's clothes to be washed, nursery look nice and neat, food stocked up in the refrigerator, kitchen. You're going to want your kitchen to be spotless, bathrooms spotless. You don't want to see nothing on the floor. You don't want to see no shoes nowhere. It's okay. It's okay. And that will be the perfect time to ask for some help, because you will tire yourself out trying to do all of that by yourself. I promise you. It's something that you're going to want to do, because I wanted everything to be perfect for when my baby got here, so I wouldn't have to do nothing but spend time with him. And that is a very normal feeling to have. So make sure you asking for help, please. Braxton Hicks. Baby, I had no idea what was going on. No idea what was going on. And my Braxton Hicks lasted for about a month. So Judah's due date was March 25th. That's actually my grandma Sandra's birthday. Love you, Grammy. Y'all. My sister's birthday is March 10th. From the 10th to the 25th on, I was having Braxton Hicks contractions. Y'all, I didn't know if the baby was actually about to come. I didn't know if I was overthinking it. I had no earthly idea what was going on. I was clueless. Because I had never felt anything like that. The closest thing that I could probably compare it to is maybe a cramp. Yeah, you could compare it to a cramp, but sometimes they get real intense. And I was thinking, I'm like, okay. So the first few times I did make the mistake of like thinking I was in labor. So I called everybody and we sitting together. We got the pool inflated. We probably left the pool inflated for about a week. And then we realized that Judah was faking us out. So we finally deflated it. And I just kept going on. And then it was a week before he actually got there. So closer to week 38, I believe that's when my mucus plug fell out. And if you don't know what to look for, it's going to look like a slimy string with a tinge of pink or brown. And it won't be super big. You might actually flush it, because mine came out when I was peeing. And I looked down and I was like, that looked like a mucus plug. I took a picture of it, sent it to my midwife, and she was like, yeah, that looks like it. That looks like what it is, but unless your water breaks, I think you should be fine. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to just go on about my business. When you start to feel extremely fatigued, like you at a point where you really don't want to do nothing but lay in the bed, that's when you know it's about to happen. And my midwife actually told me, we had a visit with her a week before Judah got here. She was like, you do not look like you're ready to have a baby at all. You're still very, super energized. She was like, you just wait about a week. And sure enough, the very next week, boom, It hit the fan. And I don't know why I wanted White Castle that day, but I wanted White Castle so freaking bad. Maybe that's a tell. I don't know. Maybe that's a telltale sign. Like if you eat stuff that you normally wouldn't eat, or you craving something real bad. For sure, the fatigue though. That right there, that hits different. That is like no other. I have never felt so tired in my life. That right there, yeah. So I went to White Castle, and maybe like 2 hours after I ate, I'm getting everything ready, getting the pool all set up. Because at this point, I'm now 40 weeks and 4 days past my due date. He was supposed to come on the 25th. He came on the 29th. So 40 weeks and 4 days past my 4 days past my due date. And I'm just waiting around. I'm getting stuff set up because I wanted to have a real nice earthy feel. So I bought some cute little tea lights from Amazon, bought a string light, bought some little greenery to set up. And I'm putting all this stuff up. I go to the bathroom and I'm like, okay. I get up, like a huge gush just comes out. And I'm like, ooh, did I pee on myself? I hope I did not pee on myself. Y'all, I look down and I'm like, okay, well, it's not even a tint of yellow. Doesn't smell like urine either, because at this point I'm like, okay, maybe I should probably smell it. So I did have to get down there and smell it, and it smelled sweet. And that's what my midwife told me. When you have amniotic fluid coming out, it's gonna smell sweet and it'll keep coming. I said, Kyle, I think my water broke. He said, wait, for real? Your water just broke? I'm like, yeah, we should probably get the pool set up. Okay. And then I called my mom. I'm like, yeah, girl, my water just broke. So I don't know what, I don't know. She was like, well, wait until your contractions start and then you'll know when you need to call me. And I'm like, okay, I think I can handle that. So So I laid down. I honestly don't even know how long I was asleep, but I went and took a nap. And when I tell you, baby, you can't sleep through labor. That was the most intense thing I had ever felt in my life. Oh my God. Oh. Super intense. It was like just wave after wave after wave of just, for somebody that has really bad period cramps, you may understand what it feels like a little bit. But if you've never experienced a period cramp in your life, oh honey, it's definitely something to prepare for. You have to get your mental ready to deal with that. So I'm timing the contractions. We get to about 6 minutes apart. So I called my mom and my sister, and I'm like, yeah, y'all should probably be on the way. Contractions are 6 minutes apart. Then by the time they get there, my contractions are now 2 minutes apart. So at this point, I'm like, oh my God, the baby about to come. This happened really fast. Oh, this was a really fast labor. The joke was on me, because by the time my midwife got there, my contractions stayed like that for the next 12 hours. You see my face? Yeah. Y'all, I didn't even know that was possible. I seriously thought that once your contractions got down to, when they were coming quick like that you were about to deliver. Nope. So she did a check on me, and here's what I love about Heather. She's not invasive at all. The only way that she's going to check you is if you want her to. So I asked her, I was like, well, I mean, am I dilated at all? What's going on? Y'all, I was only 3 centimeters dilated. After 12 hours, I was only 3 centimeters dilated. So here's where I say you will need a very strong support system during your labor process. Because had I not been able to get past the mental anguish of it all, I probably would have ended up at the hospital. Um, and I'm not saying this for anybody that chooses to just do the water birth. I mean, if you want to go to the hospital, you still need to have a very strong mental um armor. You need to have a very strong mental armor when you are in that space, because you're very vulnerable and you're not really able to think clearly. It was moments where I couldn't do anything but shake my head, yes or no. Like I got to a point where the pain was so bad I didn't want to talk, I didn't want to look at nobody, I didn't want to eat. Like my mom had to spoon feed me while I was laboring because it was so intense. um and you're gonna need people around you that care about you and care about the baby. Like it is a very, that right there is very intense. It's very, very intense. So by hour 12, and after she told me that I was only dilated 3 centimeters, I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. Y'all gotta take me to the hospital. I know I said I wanted to have him at home, but this is just too much. Like I can't, I'm not thinking straight. Like I really, I can't see past the physical pain that I was in. And my mom, because everybody was in our bedroom, so my mom, she was like, I think let's give Shauna and Kyle a chance to talk and let them figure this out. And this is why I love my man, because I never had nobody talk to me like this. And he was like, I I'm not feeling anything that you feeling physically. I'm not understanding anything that you're going through physically right now. But one thing that I can't let happen is for anybody to cut on you, and I can't let nobody cut on my baby. So I need you to shift your mindset and get yourself together so that we can power through this. And after hearing him say that, initially I was still irritated, and I'm like, oh my God, he not listening to me. Like, why is he doing this? Like, why is nobody listening to me? They don't understand. And then God filled the room, and I just got real quiet. And after that, my body just kind of, you could literally see Zen just pour over my face. And I was so content after hearing him say that, because I'm like, whoa, like you really, you care about me for real. Okay, let's do this. And like the level of calmness that he brought to me in that moment, I will forever be grateful for that. Because I wouldn't have been able to continue on had I not heard him say those words to me. So I'm sitting there, and by this point, I actually did start to have, it's called a bloody show. So once you start bleeding, that's how you know that you're a little bit further into your laboring process, and you getting close to deliver. So I was actually sitting, I was sitting on the toilet, and they had put like a trash bag over one of my pillows, and I was leaning on the back of the toilet like this, and I'm just rocking, trying to open my hips. So I'm rocking back and forth, trying to bring myself to get past, my physical pain. And I can't even remember. Like, I know people was talking to me, but I wasn't saying a word. Like, I was so quiet and just so at peace. Like, I could only hear my own thoughts. And like in that moment, everything else didn't matter. Nobody else was in that space but me, God, and my baby. And by this point, so it was actually another mom delivering at the same time that I was. So my midwife had left, and she went to go check on this other mom. And when she had her assistant there with me, and I told her, I was like, I think I might be ready to push. And when you feel like, excuse my French, but when you feel like you gotta take a sugar honey iced tea, that is when you know that okay, it's time. So her assistant had called Heather, and she was on her way back, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, where's Kyle? Because my baby was tired, he needed a nap. So they were waking him up from his nap, and by the time that he got up from his nap, I was laying on the floor, and my midwife came. She checked me again, and she was like, okay, when you get back in this tub, it's gonna be time for you to push. Are you ready? And y'all, I literally just felt a whole wave of God just pour into my spirit. And I was calling out to him, and I'm like, Lord, I need you to help me. Like, I don't know what to do in this moment. I don't know how I'm supposed to do this, but I know that you're going to get me through it. So if this is going to work out, whatever your will is going to be, just help me through it. I need you right now. Help me and my baby get through this safely without any incident, any injury. Just like, I need you. By the time I got back in that pool, it wasn't even 10 minutes. The baby was out. I didn't know what position I was going to get in, but I was squatting down in the pool, and I just kept pushing. Breathe in, push. And my midwife was telling me, like, at the height of my contraction, when it felt like it was at the strongest, that's when I needed to get ready to push. So it's so funny because Kyle was in the pool with me, and he felt the baby's head, and he was like, oh my God, he got hair. And they was asking me, did I want to feel his head? And I was like, no, I just need him to come on. Just somebody, please, pull him out of me, please. So I'm pushing, and I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. Now, this is called the ring of fire. When the baby's head and shoulders is trying to come out, that's when it's like the most intense, and you just feel like it's burning. And as soon as I felt his body leave out, I was like, oh my God, I can relax a little bit. And then they brought his little body up from the water, and I'm just staring at his face, and I'm like, oh my God, this is my baby. That feeling is unbeatable. Like, you will get so much joy out of seeing your baby. Like, in that moment, it will make all of that pain worth it. Like, nothing else beat that moment, y'all, for real. Looking in his face and knowing, like, oh my God, I just created life. Like, whoa. It's an indescribable feeling, for real. Like, oh my gosh, I'm about to cry. I got so much joy just from seeing his face and knowing that, like, you was a part of something great. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. Now, this next part, y'all. So after your baby comes out, you have to birth the placenta. Y'all. So any woman that has ever used a tampon will know exactly what I'm talking about. When you're at the end of your cycle and you pulling at the tampon, and it kind of is pulling because it's like not really that much blood on there, that's what it feels like when you're birthing your placenta. It feels very yucky, but after that part, you done. You done. The hard part is over, and then you get to enjoy your baby. You get to enjoy just spending time together. You get to rest and relax. And this is what I really enjoyed about being at home. So in the hospital, they gonna come in your hospital room like clockwork almost every hour, trying to check on you, check on the baby, run whatever test they needed to run. Since I was at home, I took a shower, got in the bed, and we went to sleep. And we stayed sleep until Judah woke up, needed to eat, get his diaper changed, all that. Like, it was the best sleep I had ever had in my life. And you're going to need it. You're going to need it. So make sure that you have your people on deck already. Like, hey, you know, I need a nap. If you could just sit with us for a second while we nap, that's great. Whatever type of assistance you may need after baby gets here, ask for it. Don't be scared to ask for help. In that moment, you need to spend as much time as you can with your baby and just enjoy being a mom. So guys, this episode actually ran over really, really long. I'm sorry about that, but I had so much to talk about with you guys. So thanks for staying here with me, tuning in, listening to me talk, and learning more about mommyhood. Guys, I'm so excited about this podcast, for real. Y'all don't understand, like, it's so much stuff that I wanted to share about my experience with Judah, and now that I'm expecting again, it's like amplified. It's so much that I want to share, so much to create and give to this space of mommyhood and parenting, and just super excited about it. So make sure that you guys continue to tune in into Young Mom's Perspective. I am your girl, Shauna J, here for you as always. Continue to walk in your purpose and be great. I love you guys, and we will see you on the next episode. Peace out.